Columbia residents, Symphony Woods is a reminder of what the area looked like before Jim Rouse came. To find out how residents feel about Symphony Woods, I went to Wild Lake Village Center and the lakefront.
Not that I really like trees all that much, but there's no point because the economy's bad and all they're going to do is just knock down whatever they build and have to build something else. Or I don't think that's a waste of money right now.
I tend to believe that the vision that Rouse had in mind for Columbia that might be affected by this change would be a negative change. I think the woods should be left to be a natural environment and not commercialized, certainly not commercialized. If it was residential with limitations, and I tend to think that any disruption of the area would take away the vision that Rouse had in mind when he created it.
We would like to save these beautiful aged trees. If they cut these trees down, they put these small little trees somewhere, we do not do justice to how long a tree takes to grow up and the amount of oxygen it produces and takes in the CO2. So I'm very much for keeping these trees alive in Columbia.
I think it's generally a great piece of property. I think it's one of the nice features about Columbia. It's a great location, and I really would like to see it stay as it is rather than make too much changes to it.
I feel very strongly that the nature of Symphony Woods needs to be preserved. I think there's too much development around Columbia, and I think that if we're going to keep what Rouse's dream and what his vision was about, which is preserving nature and preserving open space, that's some open space that we need to keep.
Well, in my opinion, I think it's important to preserve the open space within Columbia, Howard County. My family's lived in Columbia. I've lived here since about 1980, and it's the open space which has made it unique, and Symphony Woods helps provide a little cultural identity to Columbia, which is otherwise would just be known for violent homes in the malls. So I think it's particularly important that people of Columbia recognize that the cultural identity is what also helps preserve their home values.
To understand this issue better, I started at the lakefront at General Growth Properties and spoke to Greg Ham, the Columbia manager for GGP.
Symphony Woods needs revitalization and restoration. Our proposal is to restore that. Part of that would be shepherding the visitors to Meriwether, of which there may be 300,000 a year, in a tighter direction, in a tighter place, so that they don't trample and destroy all of Symphony Woods. Without a plan like that, Symphony Woods will continue to degrade and will disappear. So we would like to restore Symphony Woods.
One of the residents who disagrees with Greg Ham is Barbara Russell, a longtime Columbia resident, and a supporter of the plan put forth by Cy Palmier.
I do think that after 40-plus years, both need to be revitalized, and I prefer the plan that Cy Palmier is working on because it doesn't require the destruction of Symphony Woods or near destruction of Symphony Woods in order to revitalize them. I think that the General Growth Properties plan for Symphony Woods, which by the way is not even their property, would destroy much of Symphony Woods and is not really a good plan at all, so I'm against their plan.
Next, I went to Harper's Choice to visit Cy Palmier and hear his proposal for Symphony Woods.
Most people never had a plan for Symphony Woods. Nobody ever proposed building a great park. And once you have the plan before people for a great park, I think there'll be a lot of interest and excitement about doing something significant there, something that draws people into the heart of downtown, which is really what we're interested in doing.
1/3 of the trees in Symphony Woods are dead, and residents agree they need to be removed. What they can't agree upon is what to do with the space that's left over. Proponents of the General Growth Properties plan want to replace the dead tree space with commercial and residential units. An alternate plan put forth by Cy Palmier wants to replace the dead trees with walking paths and a central water feature in the middle of Symphony Woods.